My name is Herman. I'm 19, and today I asked to speak to you as your neighbor. And what a difficult subject we have in front of ourselves today. What difficult discussions we've been having as a community in our households. What difficult discussions we've been having as a nation. The tragedy of it all is that race is, first and foremost, a man-made, artificial thing none of us consented to. None of us bargained for it, and none of us alive here wanted it to start. Yet, the ideas of racism are so rooted in the way that we think of ourselves that sometimes we take for granted just how rotten a deal we received. We see it so often that we accept it passively, race and all its consequences. We become like a person standing too close to the proverbial elephant. Give me a moment. As the saying goes, if you stand too close to an elephant, you won't actually know what you're looking at. And we've all been standing much too close. And too few of us have actually been forced to stand back and look at what is staring back at us. As we too often forget, the road downwards is often paved with good intent. And all of us have been walking down an all too familiar road. And that is why millions across our nation choose to say those names and march, so that we can all stand back and marvel at what is right in front of us. My apologies. When talking about racial injustice, specifically with the police force, I often hear people talk about the idea of justice and what justice is. I'm guessing you've heard the logic along these lines, that laws are only laws if they are enforceable, and to make enforceable laws requires accepting that use of sometimes lethal force is necessary. And two, that because racial bias is so common in our society, you cannot expect anyone, including the police or the state, to be held to a higher standard. The conclusion from this logic is something that I hope we can all at least quietly admit is more than a little upsetting. You get the idea that frequent violence against Black people by the state is a justifiable consequence. A justifiable consequence of the society we were given at birth and society that we have, by virtue of our silence, continued choosing to be. And that should give every single one of us a moment of pause. And I refuse to believe that when I appeal to any person's better angels, a person equally placed into an imperfect world, but also striving to leave it better off, that they won't come to believe that we can just passively accept this. After all, that is the power of the words Black Lives Matter, and why millions have found safety under that banner. Because it doesn't reduce any person or any death into a justifiable consequence. Instead, Black Lives Matter is a moonshot call out into the wind that at minimum, the people who died were people who meant something to someone. And because that human being meant something to a mother, a father, a sibling, or a friend, at minimum, we should at least try for reform. If we want to talk about justice, this seems a lot closer to justice than anything we've seen before. Thank you.